If I told you to name a professional football team from New Zealand, you would say the Wellington Phoenix.
Brown reading it well. Brown over Reading. Brown, what a goal!
And you wouldn't be wrong. But what if I told you there was another team? A team that managed to beat 4 times A-League champions Sydney FC 1-0. A team that went unbeaten in their last 4 games in the competition. A powerhouse of footballing talent. A footballing machine. Oh wait, they only managed to get 1 win in their first season in the A-League, losing 17 of the 22 games they played. I am talking, of course, about the New Zealand Knights.
On the other side, looks like could be Baisley. No, Jeremy Christie with the strike, and it nestles in the back of the net. Takes a deflection, and Jeremy Christie on the left. Here's Allsop again. Sprints it across, and it's tucked in the near post by Kitts. Slips it out wide. Chance for Melbourne, and the ball into the roof.
That pretty much sums it up. They had such a torrid start to professional football that the FFA, the Australian Football Federation, revoked their license to play in the competition at the end of the 06-07 season. As soon as it had started, it was over. After only 2 years, their second season in the competition would be the last time they ever played in the A-League. A sad day for professional football in New Zealand. That's right, the first ever professional football team in New Zealand, the Auckland Based New Zealand Knights, were so bad they were removed from the league they were participating in. On the surface, that does seem like a rash and excessive move from the Australian Football Federation, as Kiwi football fans saw their only professional team being eradicated, dismissed, and removed from existence. New Zealand fans were in shock. How would football be able to develop without an established footballing franchise that is able to nurture homegrown talent in the country? The FFA came out and pretty much said, listen, this has been a disaster, quoting the club's financial, administrative, and poor on-field performances as the main reasons for taking back the license to play in the league. Now, for a football club, I'm not sure what else they could have possibly quoted as being the issue. That is pretty much everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Australian sharks started lurking as they smelled blood, an opportunity for them to snatch the license away from the Kiwis, and for a new Australian-based club to be established. Lucky for the New Zealanders, the Australian Football Federation came out to say that they preferred a New Zealand-based team, and this was likely due to the loss of exposure the A-League brand would have if it was to be completely removed from the New Zealand market. After much delay and a lack of funds to actually purchase the A-League license to play, in stepped wealthy Wellington businessman Terry Serapisos, who forked out the remaining $1.2 million required to get this new team underway. The team would be named the Wellington Phoenix, in honor of the way New Zealand football would rise from the ashes left behind by the New Zealand Knights. The epicenter of football in the nation would be moved away from Auckland and to Wellington forever. Or is it? Apparently, an A-League team is coming back to Auckland. Recent news has confirmed that a new Auckland side will be in the A-League as early as 2024, with official announcements to be made in June 2023. Initial estimates predict a licensing fee between $20 to $25 million will need to be paid just to allow for this team to take part. The logical move would be to grant the license to play in the A-League to the existing Auckland team, Auckland City FC, which it turns out a group of local Auckland investors, including property investor Alex Sipka, have been quietly working behind the scenes to try and make happen for years, even going as far as setting up a company called Auckland FC in 2021 to wire any funds required. When the news broke of the estimated licensing fees needed to actually do this, they pretty much confirmed that put an end to it, saying Alex is a reasonably wealthy man, but not wealthy enough to do this sort of stuff. So, costs will be through the roof, but how can we be sure history won't repeat itself? Remember, a team was set up in Auckland before and failed horribly. One reason that might be overlooked was the location of the team's home ground. The New Zealand Knights' home ground was North Harbour Stadium, located in Albany, Auckland. Notably, you have to travel over the bridge into the north of the city to come to the ground, which for Aucklanders below the bridge is like asking them to travel to Belgium. Crowd numbers slowly dwindled during the team's 2 years in the competition, starting out with 10,000 at their first ever home game and dropping to the low 1,000s at the end. Investors will be told crowd numbers have been solid in the city, with recent Wellington Phoenix games averaging 10,000. But these games have been played at Eden Park, and there were only a handful of them taking place once in a while, to feed the hunger of the football fans of a city of over 1.6 million people. The key will certainly be a centrally located stadium, which is rumored to become Mount Smart Stadium. Not a bad location, but how do you get the fans to come back into the stadium if the team doesn't perform? Just like with the Knights. If it's true that Auckland City FC won't be granted the license, well, this will be hurdle number 2 for the A-League investors. Aucklanders won't have an emotional bond with the team getting smashed in Mount Smart Stadium. They might come to a few games to start off with, but why waste money on bad live football if you can watch the Premier League at home? Fans in Wellington flock to the stadium to watch a Kiwi football redemption story, enough to create an emotional bond over the years. How will this be managed in Auckland? Only the future will tell.